It's Tuesday, May 20 something, and I realized that this day was getting away from me. I hadn't done my check-in video yet, so jumping on here to talk about how I've been feeling today. Um, After I made the video yesterday, I took the dogs for a good long walk, 2 or 3 miles. And then I had my appointment with the psychiatrist who tweaks my medications and has been the outlet for me to get medications, since you can't get medications from a psychologist. That's who we see with our marriage therapy, my wife and I. We see a psychologist, doctor of psychology. But had an appointment with the psychiatrist and told him some of the things that are going on. It was honestly kind of depressing. So I told him that I had fallen out of bed 2 times in the last 3 months since I last talked to him. Last time I talked to him, I was feeling pretty good, and now I'm kind of like, but not feeling so hot again. And a lot of it has to do, he asked about what I'm dreaming about. I said a lot of it has to do with my wife, my job situation, some anxiety, I guess, that I don't really allow in my mind in the daytime that's coming back to me in my subconscious, in the evening hours, and causing some really vivid dreams. I asked him if the medication, the Celexa that I've been on, could cause some of that. And he said, yes, it could. So he's making some kind of a change to my medication. It's just some other class of drug besides an SSRI. I didn't write it down, but I'm sure once I get it and look at the side effects and stuff, I'll post about it here once the medication changes. But the answer really isn't medication. I really just don't believe that. I think medication can help. But most of it is really just that if I'm sad, there's lots of good reasons why. I'm having some issues. My wife kind of demonstrated that today. She had kind of a stressful day. Of course, a lot of the things that I'm going through affect her as well, and vice versa. And but she came home today and mentioned that. So last evening, I went with her and my son, my youngest son. He's 11. We went for a walk and took the dogs. Just about 7, 8 o'clock, just before daylight was gone. And we were kind of going up a hill, and my son he's kind of chunky. He is like, I guess, a member of his generation. He just wants to be on video games and look at screens all the time, watch YouTube all the time. And it's really kind of challenging to get him to get out and move. When the pandemic happened, when all the school closures and everything, he really started gaining a lot of weight because he was at home. And his grades went down too during that period, like a lot of American children. But so anyways, I was kind of playing with him. We were going up a hill. We were both huffing and puffing, and I was kind of pinching at his little love handles, just horseplay, just like I've done with all my kids. And at one point, I realized he'd gone too far when he was crying. He's kind of a sensitive dude, and I realized I went too far. And I apologized to him about that today. That's not my intention to actually hurt him. And that I loved having him on the walk. But my wife came home from work and said, it was more of this, Steve, you're a bad guy. You're a bully. You're scary and unpredictable. Just kind of like a negative viewpoint on me. Maybe, I'm not saying there's anything to the saying boys will be boys, but I'm acting like a dad. I'm playing with my son. I went too far. I've done it with all my kids. Eventually somebody gets their head bonked or something like that, but it's something that kids actually recognize usually their dad's for. Dad's the one who horses around and has fun. At least that's the way it is in our family. And, she just started to come down on me about that. And I listened. But You know, it's just really, really challenging to know how to communicate with her. One of the things that I mentioned to the psychiatrist about what's been going on is it's like kind of a sense of hopelessness that things can actually change, especially if this is the way they've always been. And I can't communicate with her um, without me having to comfort her for what I'm saying, or without having to strictly edit myself, you know. And I'm not abusive with my mouth. I'm not nasty. I don't place demands on her. Um, it's vice versa. She's very demanding. She has very high expectations of what I should and shouldn't do. And those are what's killing our marriage. That is what's killing our marriage. And now we've been in counseling for over 2 years. She's seeing at least one other counselor, maybe two, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. So, of course, I'm sitting here going, well, you know, would we both be better off? Would we be healthier people if we separated? I'm really not looking to get a divorce. But would we be happy? Would we be able to move forward if we were separated? Would she become a different person? Dr. Sharp has told her again and again that the problems that she's having in our marriage would have happened no matter who she married, even if she married the most perfect man in the world. So this is kind of one of those situations where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I can't fix her. It's not my job to change her. But at the same time, living with her is very difficult. And it's ruined me. It's ruined my sex life, my health. It's not an excuse for me to like pig out or drink too much or any of the vices that I've picked up through the years, things that I've done. It's no excuse. It doesn't absolve me of responsibility. But it's just a fact that in marriage, the two people interacting, whether they're interacting or not interacting, or how the nature of their communication, how they spend their time, how they think about one another, it all affects the whole. And you just can't deny it. So one person can't just make it work, So that's what's been on my mind today. It's been kind of a downer day. I haven't felt like doing anything today. I really didn't go anywhere except to pick my boys up from school. This is their last week of school at Winston-Salem Christian. So things are winding down on that front. I talked to my daughter last night and this morning. Not much else is going on. Hopefully tomorrow I'll feel better. I'll get out and do a little more exercise. I didn't really do much of anything today. Sadly, no sense of wanting to do anything. No sense of excitement about going out of the house or anything like that. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. See you then.